Yes, today class we are going to discuss about design of compression members. How we will design the compression member. There is a procedure. Okay. So first, in this design of compression members, we have total 6 steps are there. The first step is whenever we are going to design a compression member, we have to take the design stress in compression is to be assumed. So first of all, you have to take the design stress value in the compression. You have to assume that value. For suppose, if I take a rolled steel section or rolled steel beam, okay, the slenderness ratio varies from the rolled steel beams are from 70 to 90. So that's why the design stress, that is nothing but FCD, we have to take 135 Newton per mm square. Okay, for suppose if I take the angle struts, the slenderness ratio is varies from 110 to 130. So that's why the design stress, the FCD value, we have to assume as a 90 Newton per mm square. Okay, for suppose if the compression members carrying the large loads or heavy loads, the slenderness ratio is comparatively very small. So for such type of the direct stress may be assumed as FCD, we have to assume as 200 Newton per mm square. But most of the cases when we are designing, we will take rolled steel beams or angle section. So here the first step, whenever we are going to design the compression member, we have to assume the design stress in compression. Okay, so if you take the rolled steel beam, the value is 135 Newton per mm square. If it is an angle strut, the value will be 90 Newton per mm square. Like that, you have to assume. Okay, this is the first step. So once if you assume the FCD value, the second step is effective sectional area. I will write here effective sectional area. You have to calculate the required effective sectional area. The formula is PD by FCD. This is the load whatever we got, and this one is the FCD whatever we assume. Okay, so the second step, in the second step we have to calculate the effective sectional area, sectional area required. Okay, the third step, so once if you get the area, you have to select a section. Select a section to give effective area required. Okay, and based on that section, calculate the R minimum value. Okay, the third step is based on the area, we have to select a section to give the effective area required, and also we have to calculate the gamma minimum R minimum value. So this is not gamma, this is R. Okay, like this. So the section we will select from the, we have a steel tables. From that steel tables we will select the section. This is the third step. Coming to the fourth step, the fourth step is knowing the end conditions, like whatever you are taking the end conditions of either column or the strut, knowing the end conditions and deciding the type of column or type of connection, determine effective length. So once if you select the suitable section, after that you have to knowing the whatever the end conditions are there, whether it is a fixed conditions or hinged conditions or free end conditions. Based on that, you have to determine the effective length. Okay, that is the fourth one. Coming to the fifth step, we have to find the slenderness ratio, okay, and the design stress, whatever it may be, FCD, and load carrying capacity, PD. Okay, so we have to calculate the slenderness ratio in this step. So along with we will check FCD and PD. Okay, if it is not satisfied, how we will do? The sixth step is you have to revise the section. If calculated, whatever we are calculating, the PD differs from the design load. So my dear students, if you observe here, these are the 6 steps. In the sixth step, whatever we will take, if it is not satisfied, again we have to revise the section. The first thing is design the compression member. So first you have to assume the design stress value. For rolled steel beams it is 135, and angle struts it is 90 Newton per mm square. If there is a large loads are available, you will take 200 Newton per mm square. In the second section, we have to calculate the effective sectional area required. So that is a value. Based on that area, you will select a section from the steel tables. So once if you know the end conditions, you will decide and also you will determine the effective length. So after that, you have to calculate the slenderness ratio, and we will calculate the PD and FCD again. If it is not satisfied, again you have to revise the section, and again you have to calculate the TD and FCD values. This is the design of compression member procedure. Okay, and we will solve a small problem. The problem is design a single strut connected to the gusset plate to carry 180 kilonewton factored load. Okay, the length of the strut. So all of you note down this problem. Length of the strut between center to center connection is 3 meters. Okay, so this is the problem. Design a single strut connected to the gusset plate to carry a 180 kilonewton load. This is the P value they given. Okay, or PD value. The length of the strut is 3 meters. Okay, so here design a single angle strut here. Okay, when it is angle strut, you have to assume FCD value is 90. Just now we discussed in the step 1. Okay, see here, if it is angle section, you have to take FCD value is 90. Okay, and even these are all available in code book also. Now we will write the given data. So the solution, first the FCD value, if it is an angle strut, you have to assume 90 Newton per mm square. So area equal to PD by FCD. So PD they given 180 kilonewtons. If it is in newtons, just multiply with 1000. FCD is 90. So you will get 2000 mm square. So now from this area, the third step, you have to select the section. So now I will select the section. I will try here, ISA 1990 12 mm. So for this case, the area is around 2019 mm square. Okay, anyway, I will open that steel table. Wait for 1 minute. Please, all of you open the steel tables also. It's my sincere request. So now it is angle section. So all of you open the angle section in the starting portion of your steel tables. So in that you will check the ISA the area we got is 2000. For suppose if you see, observe, up to IS 8080 also we are not getting 200. IS 9090 for 12 mm it is 20.19. So first I will try with the ISA 12 mm thickness. The sectional area is 20.19. Okay. So for this case, what is the R minimum value? Here you will go through this one. Here you see the R minimum value is 17.4. Yeah, 17.4. That is the RVV value. 1.74 in centimeter they given. So you will take 17.4. So my dear students, please go through the steel tables and whichever is nearer to the 2000 mm square area. So here ISA 1990 12 mm thickness is nearer to that. So that's why 20.19 we are taking here. Now I will write that here. You see, we are taking the area is ISA. We are trying 1990 section with the 12 mm thickness. Okay, the area is 2019. So from this R minimum from the table, that is RVV is 17.4 mm. In the table they given 1.74 centimeter. If I convert into the millimeters, it is 70.4 mm. Okay. Now the next step is the connections, the knowing the connections, the end condition. In the question they didn't given, that's why we will assume the strut will be connected to a gusset plate with the two bolts. Okay, the strength of the 20 mm bolt, if I take 20 mm bolt, the strength of in bolt in single shear is about 45 kilonewton. My dear students, we solved number of times how to calculate the bolt in the shear. Okay, TD equal to A into FU by like that. There is a formula is there, AG into FI by gamma m naught. Okay, so you people know this formula. If you calculated this one, you will get 45 kilonewton. Anyway, leave it about this one. Now, calculate the KL value. So the effective length is, we will take 0.85 into L. So 0.85 into length is 3000. So the value is 2550 mm. Now calculate the KL by R value. So that is 2550 by 17.4. You will get 146.55. Okay. Now if you observe here, if you calculate the KL by R value, so from this value you have to calculate the FCD. Yesterday class I told you, once if you got the KL by R value, open the tables available in the IS 800 code book 2007. Okay, so now the steel grade, this Fi value is 250 Newton per mm square. Now I will open IS 800 code book. Okay, please wait for a while. So all of you open IS 800 code book. We got KL by R value. From that you have to take the FCD value. My dear students, please wait for a while. I will check. Yeah, in the compression members it is available. Yeah, so here you see, now we have to calculate the FCD value. Now these are the tables, whatever available in the tables. You see, FCR, FCD, like that they given in all the tables. Okay, please go through these tables here. Whatever we are seeing here, see the yield stress value, the FCD value. So the KL by R value is, for suppose we got around 146. For suppose if we take 150, the grade is here 250. So you will take 59.2. So the thing is that I am taking buckling class C. Okay. So here, if you observe this one, for 150, it is given 59.2. So all of you open page number 42 of IS 800 2007 code book. The design compressive stress FCD value, the column buckling we will take at the C. Okay. So directly if it is, because of it is an angle section. So KL by R value we got, for the 150 for 140 the value is here 60.2. Okay, so for 150 59.2. So like this they given. Okay, so here we have KL by R value is 146. So how we will do that one? Okay, so how to take the interpolation and you have to do that. And here also you will see like that. You will take from this which class you are taking. So for that class you have to take the KL by R value. Okay, from these three tables which class you are going to take. So for that one you have to design the value. So now yesterday class I told you already. I will write again here for your better understanding. For suppose now we have to calculate the FCD value. Okay, the FCD value we are calculating from the table by interpolation. So generally if you observe here our value is the KL by R value is 146.5. For this only you have to calculate the FCD value. Okay, but if you observe in the table what they given for 140 KL by R value for 150. So for this case we need here 146.7. Okay, or 146.55. So they given for 50 is 59.2. Okay, and again they given for 140 is around 58.4 or something, 58.2 like that. So if you interpolate these two you will get the FCD value is 54.6 value Newton per mm square. Okay, so this is the most important thing you will get clearly. So once if you interpolate, so now the FCD value if you get 54.6 Newton per mm square. Okay, my dear students, here for 140, sorry, for 140 it is showing around 60.2. For 150 it is showing 59.2. So in between you will get 54.6 by interpolating each one. Okay, so next, so the PD how we will calculate A into FCD. So A value is 2019, 54.6 is the FCD. You got 110239. So our value is the load PD value is 180,000 newtons. So whatever we got PD value is less than our given problem. Whatever we are taking, the factor load is 180 kilonewton. But here we got only 110 kilonewton. This design value it must be greater than this factor load. Then only our section is safe. So for suppose we take in a section ISA 90-90-12. But the thing is that whatever we got the design load here, the factor load we got around only 120 kilonewton. But you know the gusset plate it is carrying is 180 kilonewton. So when you are going to design, it should be greater than value, but here it is not greater than. That's why we don't take this section. We will go for the another section. So now, hence, we have to write like this. Hence, revise the section. For practical applications also, we will do same like this only. So same like that. Now I will try another section is ISA 130 mm. Okay, the area also is nearer, that is 2022 mm square. So R value is 25.5. Same like that, same procedure. Calculated KL by R. This is 2550 by R is 25.5. You will get the answer 100. Whatever simply I am repeating here. So from the interpolating all these things, you will get the answer 107 Newton per mm square. So then PCD value is 2022 into, that is A area, into FCD is 107. So you will get answer around 216354, which is greater than our factor load. So that's why hence it is safe. Okay, we have to provide this ISA 138 mm. So this is the procedure to design a member. Okay, So you will try from the textbook. One more problem is example 6.5. Okay. So this is a problem related to the design of compressed member. Okay. So the next topic is I'm introducing here laced and battened columns. Laced and battened columns. So here the next topic is in this chapter in the second unit, that is the laced and battened columns. So these are also design of compression members. The laced column and battened columns, most probably you will see in the railway stations these laced and battened columns. That means these are the compression members. It is like this, the lacing, the steel columns. It is like this. Sometimes you will observe it is like this also. Okay. And the batten, these are the lacings, and the battens are, if you go through the railway stations where you are sitting for the train, at the time the sections are like this, the column sections. These are the battened columns. Okay. So these two types of the columns we are going to discuss in this. So why laced and batten columns means to achieve the maximum value for the radius of gyration without increasing the area of the section. So whatever we have a area, so whenever you want to achieve the maximum value for the minimum radius of gyration, so we are not going to increase the area. Okay, a number of elements are placed away from the principal axis using suitable lateral systems. Okay, so here what for suppose if you see here, this is the column, we are providing the lacings like this. Okay, in the column these are away from the principal axis using the suitable lateral systems. The commonly lateral systems are, the first one is lacing, or even we call it as a latticing. The second one is battening. So these are the commonly used lateral systems. Okay, especially the lateral lacing and the battening columns. Okay, sometimes we will use the perforated cover plates are also used as for this purpose. Okay, and now we will enter into the first thing we will discuss, the lacing. Okay, I will write here what is the lacing, what are the types, how we will provide as a lateral system in this lacing columns. Okay, for suppose for this lacing we use rolled steel flats and angles. So here if you observe for lacing, most of the cases we use rolled steel flats or also angles. One can you use single lacing or also double lacing system. Now I will explain the single lacing and also double lacing system. Single lacing system, again double lacing system. I will draw a diagram. Okay. For suppose why we are providing these lacing systems. The main motto or main object of the providing lateral system is to keep the main members of the column away from the principal one. So by doing this, the lacings are subjected to the shear forces due to the horizontal forces on the column. So already there will be a horizontal forces are acting on the column. That's why these lacing are subjected to the shear forces. Okay, to keep the main members of the column away from the principal ones. That's why we will provide here. For suppose if I take a section like this, how we will provide the lacing. Okay, this is A and also BB. This is our member. The lacing is for suppose on the A side, how we will provide? Yeah, like this. the B side, how we will provide. If you observe, we are not providing both sides same way. We are providing in separate. Okay. So this is the, we call it as a lacing on A and lacing on B. So this is, we call it as a single lace system. On the double lace system on A and on B, how we will provide. Okay, this is the double lacing system. So like this, we will provide the double lacing system. Okay, so these are the single lacing system as well as the double lacing system. Even you will observe this one in the electric poles, in the electric steel poles. If you observe in the outside, even most of the cases we will observe in the railway station platforms. Okay. Anyway, I will show the pictorial view also. Please wait for 1 minute. Next, battening. What is battens? So instead of lacing one, can use the battens to keep the members of the columns at a required distance. For suppose if it is a column like this, the steel columns. Okay, these are the battens. No, we will provide horizontal like this, and we will connect with the bolts. So this is a C, and here for suppose the section is like this. Okay, this is the angle ZZ and YY. So this is the battened column. This battened column most probably we will check in the railway stations. I will show you all the diagrams. Okay. So in the next class we will discuss the design of laced column. Then we will solve the problem. Okay. Wait for 1 minute. I will stop share.